Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pipit Anggraini. I'm a Vice Director of Academic Affairs from Bandung Polytechnic for Manufacturing. It is an honor for me to be able to attend this morning at Technology and Innovation International Conference 2021. First of all, I would like to say thank you to TECHON 2021 committee for giving me an opportunity as a keynote speaker. Today, I will discuss about robust and resilient TVET 4.0 education during COVID-19 pandemic. Here our outline today. We will start with the background and then problem statement, and we will discuss about education during COVID-19 pandemic, and we will discuss about vocational learning design, and in the end, we will conclude our discussion. I will start my background with the picture from TVET education before COVID-19 pandemic. So this picture were taken from my institution before COVID-19 pandemic. My institution, Bandung Polytechnic for Manufacturing, is the first vocational higher education institution in Indonesia. We have 4 departments in my institution. First is mechanical engineering department, and then the second is design engineering department, and then we have a foundry engineering department, and the last one we have automation engineering department. And in my institution, we implement 30% theoretical and 70% practical for our students. So Bandung Polytechnic for Manufacturing has 2 types of model of education. The first model is production-based education. The second model is industrial practice. For the first model, production-based education, or we call it as a PBA, we try to invite the industry with their problem to our institution, and we try to solve their problem in our teaching factory. We hope that from this PBA learning model, we have a student with a cognitive, affective, psychomotor, and entrepreneurship skill, which is suitable with the market demand from industry. And the second model of our education is industrial practice. 411 is for the 3rd diploma, 521 is for the 4th diploma. What is the meaning of 411 and 521? For the 3rd diploma, the students spend their time 4 semesters in campus, and for the 4th diploma, they spend 5 semesters in the campus. And after that, they spend their time to industry for on-job training and or internship. And the last 1 semester, they go back to campus to finish their last project. The history of the 4th Industrial Revolution began with Industry 1.0 in 1784, which is based on the mechanical production equipment driven by water and steam power. And after that, the second Industry 2.0 in 1870, based on the mass production enabled by the division of labor and the use of electrical energy. Then Industry 2.0 in 1969, based on the use of electronic and information technology to the further automated production. Finally, Industry 4.0 today is based on the use of the cyber physical system. In the correlation with the education, the need of education 4.0 framework as explained for education is about the century of experience with the memorization. And Education 2.0, it's about internet-enabled learning. And Education 3.0 is about consuming and producing knowledge. And now for Education 4.0 is about empowering education to produce innovation. So when we are talking about the Industrial Revolution 4.0, we are talking about 9 pillars of technology. In this 9 pillars of technology, we have autonomous robot, simulation, system integration, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, cloud computing, additive manufacturing, augmented reality, and big data. From all these 9 pillars technology, these give the effect of the skill of tomorrow needed. So the skill of tomorrow needed in fourth industrial revolution word is new media literacy. This is the ability to critically assess and develop content that use new media focus and to leverage this media from the persuasive communication. The second is virtual collaboration. This is the ability to work productively, drive engagement, and demonstrate presence as a member of a virtual team. The other skills is cognitive load management. This is the ability to discriminate and filter information from for the importance and to understand how to maximize cognitive function. Next skill is social intelligence. Social intelligence is the ability to connect to the other in the deep and direct way, to sense and simulate reaction and desired interaction. And then computational thinking skill. This is the ability to translate a vast and amount of data into the abstract concept and to understand database reasoning. The other skill is transdisciplinary. This is the literacy in and ability to understand the concept across the multiple discipline. And also there is a design mindset skill. This is the ability to present and develop tasks and work process for the desired outcome. The cognitive load management skill is the ability to discriminate and filter information for importance and to understand how to maximize cognitive function. And there is a novel and adaptive thinking skill. This is provisions at the thinking and coming up with the solution and the response behind that, which is rote or rule based. And the last one, the last skill is sense making. This is the ability to determine the deeper meaning or significance of what is being expressed. The rapid dynamic change that emerged due to the Industrial Revolution had an impact on the world of education. Inevitably, education must continue to adapt to change that occur to prepare students to face the dynamic of Industrial Revolution. In education 4.0 is an education concept that responds to a merge of the Industrial Revolution. FEES in 2015 discussed about the education 4.0 characteristic. The first characteristic of education 4.0 is diverse time and place, and then personalized learning, free choice, project-based learning, field experience, data interpretation, assessment, student ownership to curricula, and the last characteristic is mentoring program. The characteristic of the first time and place means that the student have the opportunity to learn at the free time and the free place. Student can also set how much time they invest in learning something. Students who have slow learning abilities on certain material can invest more time in repeating the material or doing exercise. Meanwhile, those who can understand the material more quickly can immediately move to another material. The place to study is also very flexible. One of the means that can be used to the facilities this opportunity is e-learning. Classes can be conducted with the concept of a flipped classroom or blended learning, which is theory can be studied using a variety of tools, learning resource, technique, and the program as desired by the student. Meanwhile, the practice can be done face-to-face interactively. Personalized learning is the process by which instructional environment are depend on the individual needs, skill, and interests of each student. There is four type of personalized learning. First is by voice. In this type, listening and understanding with empathy, questioning and problem posing, and thinking and communication with clarity and precision. The type of co-creation is creating, imagining, and innovating with a teacher as a partner, and thinking flexibly and persisting. And then the other personalized type is social construction. These related disposition with taking responsibility, risk, gathering data, thinking interdependently, and collaborating. The other personalized learning is self-discovery, which is applying past knowledge to the new situation, thinking about your thinking, and responding with curiosity. The third characteristic of education 4.0 is free choice. To reach a certain destination, we can take various routes. In this personal learning experience, students are free to determine or modify their learning by using source or tools that suit with the character of each student. The next characteristic is project-based learning. Project-based learning is one of the tools that can be used to train students in adapting to the dynamic world of the work in the future. In the project-based learning, students are trained to apply their knowledge and skill in various situations. In the project-based learning process, students also practice the principle of organization, collaborating, and timing. This skill will be used later in the academic and career level. Education institutions should conduct widely their students in obtaining a real relevant skill to their competence. Technology could provide more efficient and effective way on mastering the knowledge domain. Therefore, offline teaching on the theory can be reduced. In contrary, it gives space to the skill development which require human interaction. Field experience could strengthen the learning process. Finally, curriculum is designed to allow students perform the internship, project mentoring, and project collaboration. Another characteristic is data interpretation. One of the literacy that is needed today and in the future is data literacy. Computer can perform data analysis and describe trend from data to predict future condition. Mathematical ability to perform calculation and analysis may not be so important because computer can already do it. But what is the more important is the interpretation made by people on the result of the data analysis. The development of data literacy will be one of the components that cannot be abandoned in the learning curriculum in the future. The next characteristic is assessment. As access to more diverse learning platform advance, traditional assessment system using written exam to measure competence will become increasingly irrelevant. The exam is considered invalid to assess that the student is competent. Exam also cannot determine a person's readiness to enter the world of work. Student factual knowledge is measured during the learning process, and the application of acquired knowledge can be tested through their work on the project. Student ownership to the curricular characteristic means that the student will become more involved in developing their learning curriculum. Contemporary, up-to-date and useful curriculum can be realized if there is involvement from educational professional and the student themselves. The last education 4.0 characteristic from FEES is mentoring program. In education, students are trained to be independent in learning. During this process, the role of professional educator as mentor is very significant. Educators have a central role to help students choose learning material from many available resources of information. Educators also provide guidance to students on how to explore themselves with various kinds of experience that can be improve the capability of students so that they become more optimal. Although the digital learning platform in the future will be increasingly available and in demand, the role of teacher and academic institution remains important in one's education. In addition to what has been said by FEES, the Indonesian Minister of Research and Higher Education, Mr. Muhammad Nasir, in 2018, launched the main activity of revitalizing vocational higher education through activity. The first activity is a curriculum revision. Second is industrial lecture preparation, dual system 3-2-1 implementation, productive high school teacher preparation, and then retooling and vocational lecturer certification, vocational graduation certification, and the last activity is productive high school teacher. This picture taken from Adnan 2021. This picture illustrates the main challenge that ASEAN territory students are facing with the reference to critical and vital industrial 4.0 skill in Malaysia, Negara Brunei Darussalam, and the Republic of Indonesia. They are still bugged with the confusion and ignorance, low level of preparedness, and also a sense of fear due to the disruption and uncertainties proved by the Industry 4.0 period. From all the explanation, now we face a COVID-19 pandemic. Widespread school closure affect over 1 billion students during the first year of the COVID-19 pandemic. The vocational education and training (VET) sector has faced particular challenge during the crisis, most notably the fact that the digital learning environment that the most education institution had to rely on during closure don't work as well for a practice-oriented learning, a core component of TVET instruction, as they do for the academic learning. When COVID pandemic came, Indonesia implemented many policies to limit people activities, starting from the lockdown, PSBB, to the prison, PPKM. And of course, these greatly affect all aspects of life. This includes aspect of education, especially practice-based vocational education. So that in the end, the simple way out for the education system is to apply online learning at the time, while thinking about the most optimal solution for students without compromising the competencies that must be achieved at the end of their study. So here we came to our problem statement. So in the TVET education during COVID-19 pandemic, the problem is how to conduct the formulation of competency or skill that are relevant to the employment structure and the new type of the work in Industrial Revolution 4.0 era during the pandemic. And the second is what kind of learning is relevant to the need of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 during the pandemic. And the last one is how to make a vocational learning design for the need of the Industry 4.0 during the pandemic. To answer formulation of competencies, the competency is defined as the individual's ability to use, apply, and demonstrate a group of related awareness, knowledge, skills, and attitude in order to perform tasks and duties successfully, and which can be measured against a well-accepted standard or level. So in the competency, there is a content of competency. It is a global citizenship skill, innovation and creativity skill, technology skill, and interpersonal skill. And from the experience, there is a personalized and self-paced learning, and then accessible and inclusive learning, problem-based and collaborative learning, and lifelong and student-driven learning. The core competencies are the pedagogics, content, and ICT competencies. These competencies are relevant to hard skill aspect categories as curriculum and content. In the aspect of soft skill, category living in the world is dominant. The three aspects considered very important for the future. Vocational teachers are able to be exemplary, honest, and disciplined. As a consequence, these suggest to teacher educational institute that produce vocational teachers to develop the teachers' education curricula that integrate these key competencies in their vocational education teacher standard. Because teacher or lecturer will be in the front line. So vocational teaching method in fourth industrial revolution and also in the pandemic condition try to utilization and pillar technology. In this case is augmented reality and virtual reality. These augmented reality and virtual reality give benefit that Zan and all explained in 2019. The benefit is improve the safety of experimental learning and teaching, solve the problem of insufficient investment in practical teaching, and enhance learners' interest and enthusiasm for learning. Also from Dickman in 2015, the benefit of augmented reality or virtual reality is to increase learner motivation, attention, concentration, satisfaction. Also increase the student-centered learning, improve collaborative learning, and also improve learning curve and creativity, improve development of spatial ability and memory, and also it will be reduce the cost. Augmented reality is real world combined with digital technology, while the reality virtual is real world enter to the simulation or digital technology. With schools all over the world redesigning because of COVID-19, blended learning is become a new normal. Blended learning has been around for a while and is the combination of traditional face-to-face instruction with aspect of online instruction all while students are in the classroom with the teacher. Blended learning strives to provide students the best of both face-to-face and online learning experience. Blended classroom include face-to-face instruction technique such as direct instruction or lecture, group discussion, and small group work, while also using technology to provide in the class online learning that students can do at home, provided they have access to the necessary technology. The blended learning method combines offline and online learning. Rotation model means the student rotate on a fixed schedule or at the teacher discretion between learning modalities, at least one of which is online learning. Flex model is a program in which content and instruction are delivered primarily by the internet. Students move on an individual customized fluid schedule among learning modalities, and the teacher of a record is on the side. Self-blend model means describe a scenario in which a student chooses to take one or more course entirely online to supplement their traditional courses, and the teacher of a record is the online teachers. Enriched virtual model is a whole school experience in which within each course, for example, math, students divide their time between attending a brick and mortar campus and learning remotely using online delivery of content and instruction. Many enriched virtual program begin as a full-time online school and then developed blended program to provide students with brick and mortar school experience. The enriched virtual model differs from the flipped classroom because in enriched virtual program, students seldom attend the brick and mortar campus every weekdays. It differs from the self-blend model because it is whole school experience, not a course-by-course model. The need for self-directed learning or individual learning for self-development has even been seen as a business opportunity. Knowledge sharing economy or KSA take advantage of the need for long life learning. People who have work can carry out self-development and competency upgrading by following the course in KSA. The view of the importance of developing oneself as widely as possible without any restriction on degrees. has also attracted people to use the KSA platform, even though they need to spend money. The money spent can be seen as an investment, just like if people spend money to study at the university. The concept of paying for the knowledge is slowly but surely being accepted by the consumer. In China, KSA transactions have experienced a 205% growth in 2017. Some companies provide paid platforms to share knowledge with each other. Paid services that provide online social networks to share knowledge, experience, and skill are known as knowledge sharing economy, or KSE. Some of the vendors that provide are Ruang Guru, Pahami Fee, Udemy, and Skillshare from the United States. Udemy offers online class in various fields such as IT, software, social science, mathematics, science, engineering, markers, music, and others. Udemy is also a paid platform where every student needs to pay for every course they access. Another kind of learning is open education resource. Open education resource has been one of the online learning platform that can be accessed by many people for learning resource. These open education resources exist as a part of the formal education and are provided by a formal education institution such as a university. MIT is a university that pioneered open online coursework project that are accessible to anyone in any country. Open education resources are not institutionally binding. Everyone can learn without any administrative ties and certificates. The Open Education Resource Project has grown rapidly. Lots of other universities are following MIT footsteps. Rice University has also developed an open education resource called Connection. In 2005, Utah State University also launched the USOCW. Several major universities in Japan, namely Keiko University, Kyoto University, Osaka University, Tokyo Institute of Technology, University of Tokyo, and Waseda University collaborated to create the Japan OCW collaboration group on 13 May 2015. Now we are talking about what is a robust and resilient TVET 4.0 education. Curriculum change is a learning process for teachers and for the school. Good understanding of change and clear conception of curriculum are necessary conditions for improved implementation of the new curriculum into practice. In deciding curriculum change, we start by classifying them according to their level of readiness, so that later we can get what material can be developed using the 9 pillars of technology into a more adaptive curriculum. After that, the curriculum changes are implemented and evaluated. After changing the curriculum, the next thing to consider is the improvement of competency standard of vocational teachers. This is one of the factors that influence the performance of the curriculum to run well, because the teacher is the subject in the implementation of this teaching and learning process. So that improving the performance of teacher technology knowledge is very necessary. After achieving the strengthening of vocational teachers on technology knowledge, with the advancement of several technology that can be used, say the augmented reality or ER, the user's feeling and interaction with the physical world can be enhanced, thereby creating a virtual laboratory. ER can complement reality by superimposing computer-generated information over a physical context in real time, which can facilitate exploration and interpretation of result. These, of course, make us must improve the infrastructure of these chains. To support augmented reality, apart from the lab infrastructure that needs to be prepared, it is also necessary to prepare adequate Internet of Things and cloud computing. And all of these require a large amount of money. After all the infrastructure ready and the new adaptive curriculum is ready to be implemented, students can do a blended learning program with all the flexibility of learning choice. Graduates of vocational education have a lack of skills needed when entering the industry. Most of them have a lack of knowledge about the development of industry and should be retrained. Partnership between technical vocational education and training, or TVET, and the industry is the key to workplace readiness. After all our discussion and explanation, we come to the conclusion. First, if we have implemented Education 4.0, it will be easier to adapt to pandemic condition. The second conclusion is for all of that, we need to prepare the infrastructure so that it requires a large amount of funds. The adaptation to the curriculum occurs on the teacher and also to the student side. For the vocational teacher technology, technology competence become a frontline. And our last conclusion is student competence is maintained when the learning system is combined between Education 4.0 with the 9 pillars of technology. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. And after this, we will open question and answer.